See? All right. All right. So welcome everybody. So today, as I've mentioned already, Harper, come over here. I have my mat, or I have my chair. It doesn't have any arms, a folding chair, any kind of chair that's going to be nice and sturdy. And then I do have two blocks right here that are going to go under my feet for a majority of the practice. So feel free to grab some yoga blocks, some hardcover books that are the same size, maybe even a hard box or boxes, VHS tapes to put underneath your feet, something that you can be nice and supported. Yeah, so just a little introduction. My name's Coco. A few of you have joined us here before, so welcome back. I'm so grateful that I have this opportunity with the library and to connect with all of you guys via Zoom. I know the pandemic's been really rough, but it's been a blessing that we can allow Zoom into our houses and just feel safe about it. So I feel really grateful to be here. So without any further ado, let's make our way into a nice seated position. We're going to sit down into our chair, and then we're going to place our feet on the block. So we might need to move the blocks around a little bit. What we're looking for is to have all four corners of our feet, the big toe, the baby toe, and both sides of the heels placed on the blocks. So once you get to that position, we're going to start to move the bum forward so that the knees are stacked over the heels here. Yeah, nice. So once we get there, we're just going to move out any fleshy area underneath the bum here, and then begin to feel the sit bones, those two bones in your bum, just root down into the chair. Yeah, perfect. And now bring your attention to your tailbone. Begin to lengthen your tailbone down towards the chair here so that we can start to find this stacking motion of our shoulders over our hips. Nice. From here, begin to draw the crown of your head up towards the ceiling here. Bring your ears kind of in line with the shoulders. Nice. Now from here, I want you to bring your hands to your ribs. So to your bottom ribs here, make connection with your stomach. And we're just going to take a nice deep breath in. And as we breathe out, we're going to think of a tightening corset as we suck our lower ribs into our belly. Nice. We'll do that again. Breathing in. Feel the ribs and the belly expand. And exhale, begin to feel that tightening, pulling the lower ribs together. Nice. We'll just keep breathing here, just in our natural breath, bringing the hands to wherever's comfy. Now, as you're sitting here, I want you to bring your attention to your pelvis. And I want you to start to tilt your pelvis up so that it's not like tilting down or tilting back. We just want to begin to really find that alignment here. So our tailbone is lengthening down, our lower ribs are sucking in, and our pelvis, we're finding this length as we draw our pelvis to our sternum. Yeah, maybe you find a little activation in the core. Great. Nice. So coming here, bringing the hands onto the knees here, palms face down. We'll just gently close the eyes or soften the gaze. So today in class, we're going to be focusing on the whole body, going through just all the different parts of us to find some release and movement. But we're also going to be getting up and out of the chair at the end of class. We're going to be really focusing on finding some fun today. Yeah, fun, I said it. As I was going for my morning walk today, I was thinking about what made me feel alive and happy. And as a kid, a lot of our choices are based off of what is fun. And maybe being more grown up here, maybe adults, speaking in my adulthoodship, I am finding that a lot of times we get sucked into the busyness of life. We get sucked into serving others. We get sucked into the nuances that just keep us going. So throughout class today, I challenge you to look for the fun in this movement, to look for a small smile to your face, and to find something that brings you joy. Now, still sitting here with our eyes closed or the gaze softened, we're just gonna take a nice deep breath in through the nose, and then exhale, sigh it out. Beautiful, again, inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out with noise. One more time, inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out. Nice. So today I'm going to bring us into a little mantra. And this idea of a mantra is a mission statement or a focus throughout our practice. So I already mentioned fun. So the mantra I came up today to help us keep in line with our goals is going to be, I am enjoying life, doing what makes me happy, and committed to having fun. So maybe your eyes are closed and you say this to yourself, repeating after me. I am enjoying life, committed to what makes me happy, and having fun. One more time, I am enjoying life, committed to what makes me happy, and having fun. Beautiful, nice. We'll gently blink open the eyes here if they're not closed already. I'm just gonna swivel in my chair just to show you what we're doing, but you keeping your feet on the blocks how I'm sitting. Remember your tailbone rooted down, your ribs pulling in. We're gonna bring the arms out in front of us so that the hands are in line with the shoulders. Yeah, so from here, we're just gonna gently open up the hands nice and slowly, spread out the fingers, wiggle the fingers, and gently pull them back into fists. Beautiful. As if a little flower is blooming in your hand, begin to open up the hands and then gently close them. Nice. We're just going to pick up the speed, opening the hands and closing. Open and close the hands. We're picking up speed and close them. The thumbs can be outside the fist or inside, whatever feels good. We're going to open up the hands, stretch out the fingers, and then close them into fists. Open and close. Open and close them. Open and close them. Keep going. Opening and closing. We're going to really pick up the speed here. Opening and closing the hands. And keep going. Yeah. Sitting up nice and straight. The sit bones are rooted down into the earth. The knees are stacked over the ankles. Open and close the fist. Faster. Now faster. Maybe faster than me. One hand is maybe going faster than the other. I know mine is, and that's okay. Faster, faster, faster. For 3, as fast as you can. 2 and 1. Resist shaking your hands, and we're just gonna start to massage the forearms here. Yeah, so what we were doing, we were getting into the wrists, into the fingers, and we're just coming into the forearms, stabilizing all these muscles in the forearms. Yeah. Nice. All right, so from here, still sitting up nice and straight, we're gonna bring the left hand out in front of us. The fingers are facing up towards the sky. The palm is rooted out in front of you. With the right hand, we're gonna gently bring the right hand to grab the left fingers and pull them back towards the face. Yeah, maybe you feel a little stretch opening on the thin skin side of your wrist. Maybe in the top of your forearm. Yeah, pulling, pulling, pulling. Taking a nice deep breath here. And exhale, sigh it out. Nice, we'll switch hands, bringing the right hand out in front of us. This time with the left hand, we're gonna start to draw the fingertips back toward the face. Yeah, still trying to keep that wrist in line with the shoulder here. The gaze is forward. We're breathing into the bottom and the top of the arm. Breathing into the fingers, the ligaments of the hands. And one more nice deep breath in through the nose. And exhale, sigh it out. Nice. From here, we're going to interlace the fingers. Then we're going to flip the hands towards the front of the room so the palms are towards the wall in front of you. Nice. Beautiful. Just breathing here. Nice, release the hands down to the legs here. Noticing again that tailbone. Is the tailbone rooted down? Are we closing the ribs towards one another? Is our pelvis coming up towards our sternum? Are our shoulders stacked over the hips? Nice, beautiful. From here, we're just gonna move into the neck. We're gonna slowly take our knees over to the left shoulder. Yeah, Just trying to look at the top of our left shoulder. Beautiful, breathing into the side of the neck. And gently come back through center, taking it all the way to the right this time. Trying to keep the shoulders away from the ears. Bringing our awareness again to the tailbone, feeling the sit bones rooted into the earth. Pulling that pelvis up towards the sternum. Breathing into the side of the neck here. Maybe coming to our mantra, I am enjoying life, committed to doing what makes me happy and having fun. One more nice deep breath here. And gently come back through center. We'll tuck the chin into the chest, taking our gaze between our feet here. Still feeling all four corners of the feet really rooted into the blocks. Yeah, breathing into the back of the neck and holding here. Now, as we go through our practice, please note that whatever I say is just a suggestion. I want you to do what feels good in your body, what feels good in your mind. So if something doesn't feel right, please back off. If I cue something that maybe you just don't want to do, then don't do it. Yeah, one more nice deep breath here. And we'll slowly take the gaze back to neutral in front of us. Nice, from here, we're gonna bring our hands behind our head, and we're just gonna gently lay the back of our head into our hands. Yeah, not cranking the neck too far back, but breathing now as we open up the throat. Maybe you swallow here to clear out the throat. Yeah, beautiful. One more nice deep breath here. And exhale, slowly bring the hands down to the knees. And we'll just take some neck circles here to the right. Yeah, moving nice and slow. Trying to feel all the sensations here. Notice what's going on in the neck. And thinking expansion. Yeah, swiveling that neck around one more time to the right. And then we'll switch sides of the circle, swiveling now to the left. Nice and slow. Just checking on what's going on in the neck. Yeah, sending our love into the neck. Maybe having a little slight smile on your lips. Like here you are doing some yoga, being awesome. One more circle. And then gently come back up to neutral. Nice. From here on our next inhale, we're going to shrug the shoulders up towards the ears. And we're going to hold them in for a breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, release the shoulders down and back. On your next inhale, we'll shrug the shoulders back up towards the ears. And exhale, roll them down and back. Nice. Now from here, we're going to come into a little eye yoga. So I'm going to ask you all to close your eyes. Bringing your attention to your feet on your blocks, all four corners pushing in. Your knees are stacked over your ankles. Your sit bones are rooted into the chair and you're pulling your pelvis up towards your sternum. Your tail or your spine is nice and long here. And here we shall begin our eye yoga. So for the next few breaths, we're going to take our gaze with our eyes closed all the way over to the right, as far to the right as you can. Just bringing those pupils all the way to the right. Yeah, maybe this feels a little awkward. Maybe you start seeing like things in your vision underneath your eyelids. That's okay. Breathing, pulling the eyes to the right as far as you can. Nice. To the right for one more breath. And then gently bring the eyes back through center, keeping the eyelids closed. We'll take our gaze all the way to the left. Yeah, stretching in those eyes, moving the pupils around, moving them all the way to the left, as far left as you can. Breathing, root down into the sit bones here, root down into the feet, and pull the gaze towards the left. Inhale here. Exhale, gaze to the left. Beautiful. Gently bring the eyes to the center. Now we're going to take our gaze all the way up with our eyes closed. We're just going to draw our pupils back in our skull as if we were rolling our eyes back as far as we can possible. Yeah, just tilting those eyes up with the eyes closed. Breathing here. And exhale, we'll take the gaze with our eyes closed all the way down. Yeah, looking as far down as you can with the eyes closed, as if you could see into your sinuses, into your face here. Yeah, breathing. Pulling the eyes down here. Nice, and then we'll bring our gaze with our eyes closed back to neutral. From here, we're just gonna swivel our eyes in the eye sockets, just by making big circles with the gaze, circling to the right. Yeah, keep circling. It feels a little awkward, I know, but it's gonna feel so good. Nice, and then we'll circle our gaze to the left. Yeah, these nice big circles, moving the eyes in all directions. Beautiful, one more nice big circle. Awesome. And then we'll bring our gaze back to neutral. We'll gently flutter the eyelids open, but this time we're gonna take our gaze to our nose. So almost if we were cross-eyed, we're looking down at our nose here. Yeah, maybe you see some pores, maybe you see your breath in and out. Nice, taking our gaze now to 10 feet in front of us, find something to focus on. For me, it's a curtain and a plant. So I'm just looking at this plant. Now I'm gonna bring my gaze back to my nose. Now I'm gonna bring my gaze to that plant, that 10-foot away object. Now I'll bring it back to my nose. Now back to 10 feet. Perfect. Beautiful. On your next inhale, we'll shrug the shoulders back up to the ears. And exhale, roll them down and back. All right, for this next pose, we're gonna get back into the neck and the upper back. So we're gonna bring the left hand out alongside of us, like it's in a blade. Our fingers are pointing down towards the earth. We're gonna inhale, reach the right arm up and bring it onto the top of our head. From here, we're just gonna gently push our hand to our head and drop our shoulder to our ear, coming into a little bit of a deeper neck stretch. Yeah, if the weight on the head is too much, feel free to take it off. If the hand alongside you is too much, feel free to just bring it to your thigh. Nice, one more nice deep breath here. And then bringing the hand to the back of the skull here, we're just gonna gently pull the head down so that the chin comes into the chest. And we'll roll it to the other side, releasing the right hand onto the thigh and bringing that left hand up onto the top of the right side of the head here. Bring the right hand down into the blade alongside of us. Yeah, perfect, just like that. Feeling the sit bones rooted into the earth here. Yeah, pulling that pelvis up towards the sternum, finding that length here. The ears are stacked over, the shoulders are stacked over the hips. One more nice deep breath. And gently release. Nice, beautiful. So making sure our feet are in a nice comfy spot. Yeah, we want our knees directly over our ankles. Beautiful. From here, we're gonna bring our hands out in front of us, if they're not there already. We're gonna slowly just pick our hands up about like a millimeter off of our legs. So barely any, like maybe you can still feel the heat from your legs underneath your hands. Nice, from here, we're gonna start to lift up the right foot and just try to tap that knee to the hand. Tap, then set that foot down. Nice, we'll take it to the left side. Inhale, find lightness in the left foot. Yeah, and then maybe you kiss that knee to the hands. Tap, set that foot down. Nice, we'll bring up the hands up a few inches higher. We'll take it to the first side. Inhale, hover that right foot. Lift that right knee up. Now this time it might not touch and that's fine, but just hover it here. Lift it as high as you can to meet that hand. Tap, set it down. Nice, we'll take it to the second side. Inhale, find lightness in the left hand. Hover that knee. Maybe it doesn't reach, that's fine. Maybe you tap, set it down. Nice, we're gonna lift our hands about a foot up off the knees here. Nice. Yeah, from here, we're gonna do the same thing. Again, it's not about tapping the knee to the hand. It's just about trying and challenging yourself, having a little bit of fun. So plugging down into that left foot, we're gonna start to hover that right foot up off the block. Maybe you tap the knee up to the hand, maybe not. Set it down. Nice. Second side, inhale, lift that foot. Maybe it taps, maybe not. Set it down. One more each side. Inhale, begin to lift that knee. Now if the lower belly starts to curve and you find that curve, that's completely fine. But try to keep the sit bones rooted down. Maybe that knee taps. Set it down. Last time, last side, inhale, pick up that foot, begin to bring it up towards the hand, maybe it taps, set it down, bring the hands down to the knees, refine the sit bones into the earth, lengthen that tailbone in, hug the lower ribs in. Yes, great. From here, we're gonna come into a little twist, or not a twist quite yet. We're gonna find a side body stretch. So we're gonna bring the left hand along the chair underneath you to hold onto the chair. From here, we're gonna lift the right arm up, and then we're gonna start to either pull or just keep that hand gripping onto the chair. We're gonna reach that right arm up and over, still feeling the sit bones rooted into the earth, and we're gonna take the gaze up towards the ceiling. See how that changes the sensation. Take the gaze down towards the floor. See how that changes the sensation. Take the gaze up and take the gaze down. Inhale, come back through center. We'll take it to the second side, grabbing onto the chair with the right hand. Inhale that left hand up, find length here. As you exhale, begin to reach up and over. Nice, we'll take the gaze up towards the ceiling. Breathe, take the gaze down. Inhale, take the gaze up. Think expansion here through the side body. Exhale down. One more time, inhale the gaze up. And exhale down. We'll come all the way back through center. Nice, beautiful. So from here, with the left hand, we're gonna reach for the chair behind us. Any side, any part of the left side of the chair, we're just gonna reach for it. On our next inhale, we're gonna reach the right hand up and then cross it over towards our left hip. Lengthen the crown of the head up towards the ceiling, and exhale, take the gaze behind you. Coming into this nice juicy twist and taking a few intentional deep breaths here. Inhale, feel the ribs expand. Exhale, maybe the gaze goes a little bit further back. Inhale, expand, draw the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. Exhale, the gaze a little bit further. One more time, inhale, lengthen. And exhale, come back through center. Nice. Bringing the hands onto the knees here. We're gonna start to pull the chest through, the heart towards the front of the room. And we're just gonna stick the back of the skull towards the back of the room. Yeah, opening through the chest. And we're imitating what we do in yoga as a cat-cow. So on our next exhale, we're gonna start to bring our heart towards the back of the room, curl our shoulders in and tuck our chin. Inhale, draw our heart towards the front of the room. Take the skull towards the back of the room. Inhale, curl everything in. One more time, inhale, open through the heart, the chest. Maybe this time you look up. Notice how that changes the sensation. And then exhale, curl everything in. Coming back to your neutral spine, sitting up nice and tall here. Grabbing with the right hand this time, the right side of the chair, anywhere that you can reach. We'll inhale, reach the left arm up, find length here, and then exhale, slice that left hand down towards the right leg, the right knee, the right thigh, or the right hip. Inhale, begin to lengthen here, sit up nice and tall, and exhale, bring your gaze towards the back of the room. Yeah, we're twisting here in our shoulders, our thoracic spine. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, let it out. Inhale, lengthen. Maybe the gaze goes a little bit further back. Exhale, draw the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. And exhale, come all the way back out. Nice, we'll come into those cat and cows again. On your inhale, pull the heart through, draw the crown of the head back. Exhale, curl the shoulders in, find that round of the spine as you chuck your chin. Inhale, draw the heart through the skull back. Exhale, round everything in. One more time, inhale and exhale. Nice, great, beautiful. So from here, we're gonna come into a little bit more shoulder work. So we're gonna take our arms out to cactus arms. So our elbows are in line with our shoulders and our palms are open, our fingers are splaying out. Yeah, nice. So from here, we're just gonna start to try to keep our hands in line with our elbows and our elbows in line with our shoulders. Nice. Beautiful. We'll take a nice deep breath here. Begin to feel the heat in the arms, that energy, that prana, being alive here. And then as we exhale, we're going to draw the elbows in towards the waist here. And we're going to start to open up the chest. The hands are nice and wide. The sit bones are rooted into the earth. And as we exhale, we'll bring the fingertips all the way down. Wiggle those fingertips. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Let the palms kiss overhead. Inhale, bring the hands to heart center. We'll open the arms back up to those cactus arms here. Yeah, drawing those elbows in line with the hands, in line with the shoulders. And as you exhale, draw the elbows down towards the waist, opening through the chest, the heart. Exhale, come back to neutral spine, release the hands down towards the ground, wiggle the fingers. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Let the palms kiss overhead, then bring the hands to heart center. I am enjoying life. Inhale, bring the arms up to your goal pose, cactus arms. Exhale, bring the elbows towards the waist, open through the heart. Exhale, neutral spine, reach the hands all the way down. Bring the hands all the way up. Let the palms kiss, and then bring the hands through heart center. One more time, inhale, those cactus arms. Exhale, draw the elbows to the waist, open through the heart. Inhale, release the hands all the way down. Bring the hands all the way up. I am doing what makes me happy. Pull those hands to heart center. Nice. So now we're going to bring the hands out in front of us. We're going to flip the palms so they're facing one another. Yeah, the fingers are nice and alive. And then we're just going to take a big open twist, bringing that right hand all the way behind us. Yeah, taking our gaze to that right hand. And then come all the way back through center. We'll take it to the left side. Inhale that left arm all the way behind. Still trying to keep the shoulders stacked over the hips. If they're not, that's fine, but just trying. And come back through center. Back to the right side last time. Reaching the hand back, finding this twist. And come back through center. Left side last time. Reach that arm out as if someone was pulling you from the front and the back of the room. And come all the way back through center. Set those hands down onto the knees. Nice. I don't know about you, but my shoulders and my upper body is starting to get really warm. That's a good sign. So take a nice deep breath in here. Discern any changes that are happening in your body. Yeah. And commit to having fun here. Beautiful. Let's come into a little side body bend again. Bringing the left hand alongside the chair. Inhale, reaching that right arm up, getting nice and tall. And then exhale, begin to bring that right hand up and over towards the left side of the room. Take the gaze up and take the gaze down. Take the gaze up. Breathe. Exhale, take the gaze down. One more time. Inhale the gaze up. Exhale the gaze down and come back to center. We'll take it to the second side. Inhale, reaching that left arm up. Find the length. Find that right hand connected with the chair. And as you exhale, reach up and over. Nice. Inhale, take the gaze up. And exhale the gaze down. Inhale the gaze up. And exhale the gaze down. One more time. Inhale the gaze up. And exhale the gaze down. Slowly come back through center. Nice. So from here, we're going to bring the feet over the blocks here and out onto the mat in front of us. Yeah, so maybe you need to adjust on your chair, bring your sit bones to the edge, and we want our heels to dig into the earth. So we want to keep a slight bend in our knees, but what we're going to be targeting next is our hamstrings. So finding a position where your heels can really dig into the earth, we'll bring the hands onto the chair for support. And we're going to slowly start to straighten our knees to a point where we begin to feel this stretch, this opening in the back of the hamstring. Maybe this isn't it for you yet. Maybe you start to hinge at the hips and begin to lean forward, finding that stretch. Yeah, there it is for me. Keeping the toes nice and flexed up towards the face here. Feeling the heels dig into the earth, feeling your support as you hold onto the chair, drop the head. Nice, breathing here. Yeah, searching for sensation. Yeah, and notice here what's like unfurling or happening in the backs of the legs. One more nice deep breath here. And exhale, sit all the way up. Nice. We'll gently bring the feet back onto the blocks here, sitting a little bit back in our chair, finding our alignment here, rooting the sit bones in, lengthening the tailbone down, drawing those lower ribs in towards one another as we draw our pelvis up towards our sternum. Yeah, perfect. All right. So from here, we're just going to lift up the right leg up in front of us and just point and flex the toes a few times. Yeah, point and flex the toes, find what feels good. Maybe you need to hold in one position. Maybe you need to start taking little circles to the right or the left. Maybe you need to switch the circles, keep pointing and flexing, and then set that foot down. We'll take it to the second side, reaching that left leg up in front of you. Hello, peace lily in front of me. Point and flex the toes a few times. Yeah, still sitting up straight, feeling those sit bones rooted in. Start to take little circles here. Maybe you change direction of the circles. And then set that leg back down. Nice. From here, we're going to cross the right ankle over the left. And then we're going to slowly start to drag that right ankle up towards the knee. Maybe you reach out and grab onto the foot here to bring it over the leg, coming into a figure four. So my right knee is out in front of my right hip, and my right ankle is in front of my left hip. Yeah, I'm making a figure four. Maybe you bring your hands down onto the knee and the ankle here for support. Yeah, and then here, find the sensation. Feeling those sit bones rooted into the earth and begin to open up in the hip, whatever that looks like for you. So maybe this is enough for you. Maybe you feel great where you're at. We're looking for like a stretch out of 10, like a 4 or 5 here. So maybe that includes adding on. Maybe you start to lean forward, hinging at the hips. Oh, see, I found it. Yeah, taking the gaze down towards the floor and just breathing here into the hip. Yoga doesn't have to look fancy and extravagant. Yoga doesn't have to be touching our toes or doing flips. Yoga doesn't have to be all of these things that a lot of times lately, especially in our culture, we're seeing yoga being. Yoga is our breath and finding some self-love for our body and finding movement, finding what feels good. So sit here for a few more breaths, feeling the sit bones rooted into the earth, that tailbone lengthening down, and breathing into that hip. Yeah. And right here, relinquish any need to be anywhere else. Like, know you made the right decision by tuning into the Zoom or watching this video. Yeah, acknowledge yourself for that. One more nice deep breath here. And then we'll slowly sit up if you're leaning over. Now, to get out of this, there's a couple ways. You can pick up your foot and release the leg down towards the ground. Or you can think about dropping your right knee down towards the earth and trying to hover that foot off the leg here. Now it might not hover here, but that's fine. Nice. Now we're all straight in the leg here. Feel that leg hover and then release that leg down. Nice. We'll bring our feet back up onto the box and we'll cross our left ankle now over our right ankle. Slowly dragging that left ankle up towards the knee. Give it a little help to help it cross up here on the knee. Ooh, this hip is a lot tighter. And notice in your body, like how the different sides, how there's like different sensations there and changes. And notice that that's okay. Or know that that's okay. Nice. So bringing the left hand down onto the left knee, which is relatively in line with the left hip. Bringing that left ankle on top of the right knee here, we'll begin to search for the sensation. Yeah, keeping that left foot nice and flexed here. And maybe this is enough for you. Lengthening the tailbone in, drawing the ribs together. Maybe you start to hinge a little at the hips. Maybe you're open enough to lay all the way over. The options are here for you to explore, to find what feels good. Like I said, for me, I'm pretty tight on this side, so this is doing it. Sending your breath here to any places of tightness or gripping. Notice what's going on. Yeah. Any lingering thoughts, any lingering sensations, emotions, welcome them all in. Yeah, I said it. Welcome them in, invite them for a cup of tea, see what they have to teach you here, right? Instead of holding on to this gripping or need for control, I'm gonna breathe into it and help use my breath to help me move through it. Yeah, beautiful. A few more breaths here. Feeling the ribs expand. And then slowly set all the way back up. Nice. Let's try to hover that left ankle up off the knee again. Again, it might not happen. It probably is not going to. It's not even happening for me. Just this idea of hovering. Nice. Beautiful. Maybe you start to straighten that leg and you get a little hover and you release the legs down. Let's bring the legs out in front of us again, scooching forward on that chair. Bringing the heels into the earth here. We're just going to popcorn the knees up and down a few times. Point and flex the toes a few times. Yeah, wiggle the feet a few times. Now coming back up onto the heels, the toes are out towards the ceiling. We're going to grab onto the bottom of our chair. We're going to slowly shift our toes to the left and then up back through center. Slowly shift them to the right and back up to center. And to the left, we're finding internal and external rotation in our hips. To the right, to the left, and to the right. We'll keep moving here as slow or as quick as you want here. Yeah, just finding this intentional movement, whatever pace you're moving at, being intentional here. Yeah, a few more times to each side. Yeah. Feeling this gentle movement in the hips. Beautiful. Nice. From here, we're just gonna heel our feet back a little bit and come to a more seated position in our chair. So our whole bum is basically supported by the chair. We're gonna straighten the legs out in front of us and we're gonna start to lean back. Maybe you scooch back in your chair a little bit. My chair kind of dips down a little bit so I can't scooch too far back. Nice. From here, we're going to start to lift the arms out overhead. We're coming into downward facing dog, but taking gravity out of it. Yeah, our legs are straight. Our sit bones are pushing into the earth, and our hands are reaching up towards the ceiling, kind of at like a little, like we're almost making a V with our body. Nice. Maybe you begin to pull your fingers back as if they were holding platters here. Nice. So we are feeling our body go in 3 different directions. Our heels are rooted down towards the earth. Our sit bones are in the chair, and we're pushing through our hands. Yeah, our gaze is ahead. And we'll just shake our head no a few times. Shake our head yes. I'm committed to enjoying my life. I am happy and having fun. Beautiful. Now we'll just find a few breaths of stillness here. Yeah, maybe you feel that heat, that tingling sensation. I know I am. So definitely feel the heels connected to the earth, the sit bones rooted in, and the hands up. Yeah, maybe you're leaning back in your chair again. Again, I can't do that because my chair is a little funky. One more nice deep breath in this downward facing dog variation. And exhale, release the arms out towards the side. Nice, we're gonna bring our feet to a goddess pose. So bringing our legs out to the right and left, and then trying to stack our knees over our ankles. Now your legs can be more in if you're a little bit closed or tight. They can come out, whatever variation feels good. We're gonna feel our sit bones rooted into the earth, and we're gonna bring our hands onto our knees. Nice, we're gonna slowly start to dip our right shoulder in towards center as we take our gaze over to the left. Taking a nice deep breath here, and exhale, sigh it out. Inhale here, exhale it out. Slowly come back up to center. We'll take it to the left side, pushing into all four corners of our feet, dropping that left shoulder in towards center. Taking our gaze over the right shoulder here. Nice. Inhale here. Exhale it out. Inhale here. Exhale it out. Inhale here. And exhale, slowly come back to center. Now, if you were with me in class in the first day or first video, we did this. If not, I'll walk you through it. We're gonna drop the right hand between our legs, in between center here. We're gonna slowly do what we just did by dropping our right shoulder in and taking our gaze over our left shoulder. This time we're just gonna dangle our arm, let our arm just kind of slowly go in little circles or side to side, kind of like a pendulum. Yeah, letting go of any control here, but movement in the shoulder. Yeah, the rest of the body is nice and still. The sit bones are still rooted in. Both feet are grounded. And we're just dangling the arm. Nice. We'll come to the other side, bringing that right hand to the knee. Slowly dropping that left shoulder in, taking the gaze over our right, and letting the arm come between the legs here, just to gently dangle. Yeah, maybe it dangles however you want. Maybe you gently guide it in circles. Yeah, just easing into this movement here. See what's happening, notice, be an observer. Are you afraid of looking funny? Are you afraid of falling? Like, find out what's showing up for you and see how you can use your breath to maybe explore what's beyond that precipice. Yeah, nice. One more nice deep breath here. And slowly come back up to center. Nice, keeping those feet still out, wide on the ground. Lift up all 10 toes, set all 10 toes down. Nice, from here we're gonna do a little challenge to ourselves. So we're gonna push into our hands on our knees. We're gonna push into our feet, and we're just gonna see if we can hover the sit bones up and off the chair. Maybe they come back down, maybe you reset, and we're gonna lift them back up. Yeah, nice. Maybe you hold, maybe you reset, but wherever you're at, you're breathing, you're pushing into the feet. You're finding grounding in the feet. Yeah. Maybe you sit back down and try one more time. Inhale, come up. Nice. And slowly set all the way down if you were extended out. Let's come back into our downward dog. Bringing our legs out in front of us, heels into the ground. If it feels good to reach all four corners of the feet on the ground, that's going to be a very intense stretch on the front of the feet. So do what feels good for you. Today, my heels are going to stay rooted in, and I'm going to start to lean a little bit back as I reach my arms up, pulling my fingers back as if I'm holding a platter. Yeah, Feeling my feet grounded, my sit bones rooted, and my arms reaching, moving in these 3 directions here. Inhale and exhale out. Nice. We'll gently bring the hands onto the chair and step our feet back up onto the blocks. Moving the bum back so we can find our integration, drawing the sit bones into the chair, lengthening the tailbone down, closing those bottom ribs together, and drawing the pelvis bone up towards the sternum. Nice. From here, we're going to gently start to hinge at the hips, and we're just going to fold forward. Yeah, that may look like just dropping the head. That may be by letting the ribs come down towards the thighs here. Wherever you're at, begin to release the arms on either side of the leg and drop the head here. Yeah, nice. Feeling supported here. However that looks like for you. Maybe your hands are on the chair. Maybe they're on your thighs to add a little support. Maybe they're crossed underneath your belly for some support. Maybe they're wrapped all the way around your legs to pull you in towards yourself. Wherever you're at, commit to it. Commit to finding the sensation and commit to surrendering to it. Surrendering to this forward fold here so we can reset the nervous system a little bit. Yeah, this is a very relaxing pose, and this lets the body know that we're in a state of rest and digest. Beautiful. One more nice deep breath here. One more nice deep breath here now, again. One more nice deep breath here. Then exhale, sit all the way up. Nice. We'll bring the hands to heart center. All 10 fingertips are pushing in towards one another, and the hands are about at the heart center or the sternum. Nice. From here, we're going to start to twist towards the left. Yeah, we're coming into a nice prayer twist. So we're going to stay here, where we're going to start to bring that right elbow down towards the left leg. Maybe hooking the elbow onto the knee. Maybe taking our gaze up towards the ceiling over the left shoulder. Nice. And here, instead of thinking of collapsing in and just trying to get this pose, find whatever is moving with integrity. So maybe that looks like the arm out and you're just twisting a little bit. Maybe you're still sitting up with the hands at heart center. Nice. Wherever you're at, stay here for one more nice deep breath. One more nice deep breath. One more nice deep breath. And exhale, come back up to center. We'll take it to the second side. Hooking the left elbow, left arm, or just turning the body towards the right side here. We're gonna find this prayer twist. Yeah, bringing the hands up towards the heart center. Drawing the crown towards the front of the room here, finding length in the spine. Yeah, nice. Finding that sensation here. Breathing. Being okay with letting go of control. Having a little bit of fun. And maybe bringing a smile to your face. One more nice deep breath. And slowly come up. Bring the hands onto the knees, and we'll step the feet off the blocks. We're going to move the blocks out of the way here. Just bringing them to either side. And then we're just going to stand up here. Nice. We're going to turn to face our chair. So moving your chair to however it feels good. We're going to come into a forward fold. So for me, I like to have my feet about a foot away from the chair. I'm trying to move my stuff so you can see. I like to have my feet about a foot away from the chair. Yeah. And we're going to pick up all 10 toes here and then set all 10 toes down. Finding a nice bend in our knees, drawing our tailbone down, drawing our pelvis up to our sternum here as we close the ribs in towards one another. Yeah, still finding that integration that we have in all class. We're going to inhale, reach the arms all the way up. And we're going to exhale to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. And this time we're gonna bend at the knees. We're gonna start to fold, bringing the hands down onto the chair. Finding that bend in the knees here, letting the ribs drop down towards the chair. And take your gaze down between your feet. Maybe your forehead comes onto the chair, maybe not. Yeah, we're gonna explore this forward fold here with our knees nice and bent. Maybe the hands stay on the chair, maybe they drop down towards the ground. Maybe the hands stay on the chair, maybe they reach out behind you. Yeah, feeling nice and supported here with your feet, with your chair right here, ready to catch you at any time. The knees are bent. Nice. And we'll exhale, bring the hands onto the chair. We're gonna lift up halfway this time, pushing the hands to the chair, drawing the crown of the head towards the chair, letting those sit bones really root behind us. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Nice. This time we're going to inhale, drop the arms down to sweep them all the way up as we stand all the way up here. Exhale, the hands to heart center. Inhale, drop the arms down to sweep them all the way up. And exhale, forward fold, bending in the knees here, using the chair as support, maybe letting the forehead kiss down towards the chair. Nice. Inhale, lift up halfway here, find length in the spine, as if we're trying to hold a box or a planner on our back here. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up, reaching up, letting the hands kiss overhead, and then drawing them to heart center. Nice. So from here, we're going to step back on our mat. Now being about 2 or 3 feet away from our chair. Now adjust accordingly, even if I don't cue it. We're gonna come into a lizard pose on our chair. So we're gonna step the right foot up onto the chair. Maybe we assist our leg, and we're gonna bring our foot so that it's all the way on the chair. Nice. So this back leg is kind of like leaning out behind us. Woo. And then from here, we're gonna start to push into that front foot, find a bend in that knee. Maybe the hands come out to the chair to support. Nice. So both feet, they're facing 12 o'clock, whatever position we're in. Nice. Maybe you heel toe that front foot out in front of you. Maybe you start to let your hips drop a little bit further down. Maybe this doesn't work for you at all. You tried it and you don't like it. Maybe you just want to stand up with your leg on the chair. If that's the case, gently step that back foot in just to have that knee in alignment. Beautiful. So in our whatever variation of lizard you're in, we're just gonna breathe here. Nice, keeping the gaze down for one more nice deep breath. Beautiful. Now wherever you're at, we're gonna grab the chair. So we're just gonna step that back foot behind us. We're gonna have the feet out behind us and come into a plank position. So we're gonna slowly bring our hips in line with our shoulders. Yeah, the heels are kind of popping up. We're making kind of like a straight line here. And we're feeling our shoulders active. We're pushing into our hands. We won't be here long. We're breathing and just finding that engagement in the core. Yes. Beautiful. And then slowly walk those feet back in. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Nice. Inhale, lift up halfway. And we're going to come into our lizard on the second side. Maybe you stand all the way up to do that. Stepping back onto your mat and stepping that left foot onto the chair. Yeah, finding your foot really. Find like a comfortable position on the chair here. So all 4 corners of the feet are into the chair. Maybe you step this back foot out a little bit. Maybe you start to lean forward, bringing your hands onto the back of the chair or onto the chair underneath you. Again, maybe this doesn't work, so maybe you're just standing up with your leg on the chair. Whatever variation you're in, you're committing to finding some sensation here to allow the hips to open. Drawing that left hip crease back as you try to bring that right hip crease in line. Beautiful. Staying for one more nice deep breath. And then pushing into the chair, we'll come back into that plank pose. Walking the feet out behind us, and then lowering the hips down so we're kind of making a straightish line. Beautiful. Staying here for 3. Finding engagement in the core, feeling the shoulders lift up and out for 2. And 1, walk the feet back in and find that halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Nice, beautiful. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, stand all the way up. We're gonna walk behind our chair now. We're almost done with class. I just want to find a minute of some balance. Yeah, I know we've done a lot of balance, like just trying to stay in our chair. But now let's just balance on our feet. So finding all 4 corners of our feet on the earth here. Finding a slight bend in the knees as we draw the tailbone down. Tuck those lower ribs in. Find the pelvis rooting up towards the sternum here. We're going to gently come up onto all 10 toes. And then we're going to sink the heels down. We're going to slowly come up off all 10 toes onto our heels. We'll set all 10 toes down. Nice. And then we're just going to rock over to the left edges of both feet, lifting up on the right edges. Coming all the way down, we'll lift up onto the right edges, lifting the left edges up. Coming all the way back. And we're just gonna sway side to side. First big, side to side. We're slowly gonna make our sway littler and littler. Gently finding our center. Rocking from foot to foot, finding all 4 corners of the feet rooted in until we can find some stillness here. Gently close the eyes here. Soften the gaze, whatever you feel comfortable with. Dropping the shoulders away from the ears. We're gonna do a couple breaths with our tongue out. So don't worry about looking silly. I can't see you. Don't worry about don't let the ego get in the way here. Have some fun. So we're gonna inhale just normally and exhale it out. Now we're gonna inhale through the nose. We're gonna stick the tongue out. And as we exhale, we're gonna make a noise. Ha! Yeah, inhale through the nose. Exhale, stick the tongue out, make some noise on your exhale. Ha! One more time, inhale through the nose. Exhale, stick the tongue out, make some noise. Ha! Beautiful. We'll gently open the eyes up and come back to a nice, easy seat on the chair. No need to bring the blocks this time. Just feeling the hands rooted into the thighs. Yeah, great job today. Great work, everybody. This was a lovely opportunity. And, oh, sorry, I should finish this class first. Let's finish our class with coming back to our mantra that we started our class with. Our mission statement to help us focus so that throughout your day, maybe you can take this energy, this silliness, this fun that you had in this class with you off your mat today. So with the eyes gently closed, we'll just inhale, repeat in your head after me. I am enjoying life. I am committed to doing what makes me happy. I am having fun. I am enjoying life. I am committed to what makes me happy. I am having fun. One more time. I am enjoying life. I am committed to what makes me happy. I am having fun. Nice. We'll gently bring our hands up to our heart center. Thank you so much for practicing with me, for letting me into your homes and your computer screens. I really appreciate this opportunity to guide you. Thank you so much. Namaste. So this will conclude our 3-part series at the Library of Chair Yoga. Again, my name is Coco Keel. I'm a 500 RYT, a registered yoga teacher. If this is something you enjoyed and would like to see more of in the future, please let the library know. You can respond to us, however you can communicate with us, and we'll make note of it. If there's any questions or concerns, or you want to continue your yoga practice, please continue to watch these videos. Please feel free to reach out to me. My email is C as in Coco, K as in kite, E as in Edward, H as in hat, L as in lion @gmail.com. That's CKEHL@gmail.com. And I can walk you through any questions you have. I can give you my yoga schedule for the different studios I teach at, or I can let you know about any privates I have. This has been a wonderful opportunity, and Carver, my assistant, and I, wherever he is, thank you. Awesome.
Thanks, Colleen. It was wonderful.
Oh,